First things first, welcome in or welcome back to the channel. My name is Grin and I hope that you are having a wonderful day. If you play old school RuneScape, it's very likely you know that Desert Treasure 2 has come out, and with it, 4 new bosses. Although the quest itself is pretty fantastic, and with a guide took me about 4 hours to complete, the bosses it brought into the game are so much fun. However, in this video, I'm focusing on one of the bosses, that boss being Vardorvis. Vardorvis has the worst drop table of the new bosses, but believe me when I tell you, I got massively lucky at this boss. If you find yourself enjoying the video and want to see more old school RuneScape videos in your feed, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. All that out of the way, let's dive in. Since this is kill number 1 after completing Desert Treasure 2, I thought it might not be a bad idea to cover the gear I'm using and the inventory I brought before I get done with this first kill. So I brought Neatis Nut Face Guard, Fire Cape, Unholy Blessing, the Amulet of Torture. I bring the Ring of Suffering. I've seen in some other videos that it definitely helps because you can rebound some damage using like the Ring of Recoil effect of it back onto the boss. Ferocious Gloves, BCP, and Bandos Tassets, Primordial Boots, Fang, and Dragon Defender. And I brought this thing because I can't afford a D-Claws right now, but I know I see people bringing the BGS, but a lot of people I've seen bringing it aren't bringing the Fang because they might not have access to it or what have you, but I'm going to try the Dragon Dagger first just to try to help spec him out in his final phase, and if that doesn't work, I'm just going to bring the BGS instead. Other than that, you know, just bring some combo eats, a few prayer potions, and a super combat potion. You're supposed to bring thralls, but I'm a bad RuneScape player and don't have them. But all that out of the way, I'm going to do the first kill and we'll see what we get. So I did manage to get the first KC done of the normal variant after the quest, but I did shoot through most of my supplies other than the prayer potions. But I didn't eat basically anything until like the enrage phase or whatever you want to call it at the end, and I ended up losing track of when the his head pops out of the ground and shoots you with a range attack, and you got to switch to it real quick before going back to protection from melee. But I was rewarded graciously with 17 rubies. But we're gonna resupply and we're gonna come back for another kill. Finished up another kill. I was rewarded with 130 coal, almost 20 KGP. It is a little scary because very shortly after you kill the boss, it respawns, and you know, unlike a lot of other things, it doesn't attack you right away. It doesn't attack you until you attack it. But that kill, it felt a little easier. Again, just most of the damage I took was from missing the ranged attack that shuts off your prayers. But it definitely felt like I was able to understand a little bit more of what was going on. I felt less stressed during it and managed to shave 13 seconds off. And I did bring the BGS this time. I completely forgot to use the Dragon Dagger the first kill because I was trying to pay attention to everything that was going on, so I just forgot to switch to it. So just using the BGS and using the spec right at the beginning of the kill, you really can't forget that. So I figured I would just bring that instead, and we're just going to keep killing some Vardorvis. That one was incredibly rough. That time, it was mostly the spinning axes that got the better of me. I did most of the ranged attacks that shut off your prayers, but I think I'm focusing too much on one and not enough on the other. Like, I'm not giving them fair attention like mechanics, so I keep messing up either one of them and taking a ton of damage. I actually died on my last attempt to try to get my 4th KC, and I had to run back here, get everything from my gravestone and resupply. But we are going to again resupply and go for another one. Managed to get a new PB that kill, getting a 2-minute and 2-second KC, which puts me at 9, and I actually managed to use the least amount of supplies I've used out of any kill so far. So I'm gonna try to get one more. I have another spec ready now, and if I can get this one, it's gonna put me at 10, which is cool. First double-digit milestone of the boss, and my first ever 2-kill trip of the boss. So we're gonna give that a try now. I did manage to get the second kill, which felt amazing. I still even have some food left, so I think it's fair to say, at least as far as the normal version of the boss after the quest goes, I really feel like I'm starting to get it down. So hopefully from here on out, unless I really mess up something stupid, we should be able to continue getting 2 kill trips, which definitely helps out a lot, definitely increases the kills per hour. So gonna keep this going, hoping to get at least 100, maybe 150 KC this video, and hopefully, you know, maybe we can get lucky and see something. That would be awesome. I did end up caving and selling some things so that I could afford D-Claws. I just love the look of them. The spec is so iconic as well, and it is supposedly very good here, but this is the first trip of the day for me, so I'm not expecting a multi-kill trip, but I am at the very least hopeful that I will get a single one, but we'll pop back in after I give it a shot. I did end up getting 2 kills that trip, and the loot is kind of funny because the first kill I got 36 dragon javelin heads, and the second kill I got 36 rune javelin heads. Obviously, you know, quite the disparity in the value there, but I did manage to get a new PB at 1:59, so I'm glad that at the very least some of my first day experience killing this boss did manage to stick, which feels really good, and I'm excited to keep killing it. So oddly enough, that was one of the worst kills of the past few trips I had done, because I got 2 trips with multiple kills back to back, but I did receive a higher reward this one. I got the 1.5 reward because the normal drop is 36 and I got 54. So that's interesting. I don't quite understand how this works yet. I don't know, maybe there's somebody, you know, you can leave it in the comments or you try to explain it to me, but still enjoying the boss. Wish I wasn't so sloppy on this KC, but we're going to keep at it. Another 1 kill trip, which is pretty unfortunate, but I am hoping to get the strangled tablet. I think that's what it's called soon, because I'll put the drop rate of it up here. They announced today that it's a 1 in 25 drop, and I'm at 17 KC, so we are getting, you know, somewhat close to it. I believe we're over 2/3 of the way there at this point, so, or maybe just at it, so we're getting there. I'm hoping to get it because, you know, it'll definitely make the trip a little bit better. Managed to get a new PB at 18 KC, as well as by far being our cleanest kill yet, using only 6 pieces of food. Graciously rewarded with 17 sapphires. It's not even enough to show up in the, yeah, less than 5k, but hey, you know what? That's all right. We're definitely getting better. So KC number 21 marks our first chromium ingot, and I'm going to pop the drop right up here because I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I know we very obviously got super spooned as far as this drop goes because I still don't have the strangled tablet, but this was another 2 kill trip, and the first kill I got 200 blood runes, this one the chromium ingot, and I was really nervous because I didn't realize it until I actually got to the boss, but I was AFKing some redwood trees while I had my rock golem out, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna send to the boss anyways and we'll try to get it, and we did still manage to get the 2 kills, but man, that is so nice to see. I'm gonna drop it on the ground for a second here just because it's strange. Just say it's 707k, but down here it says that it's just barely over 1 mil. I feel like this is probably the more accurate price, but I don't really know because I don't want to sell it right now, because I think it'll be better just to sell it at the end of the video when I sell everything and we check the loot. But awesome, love to see it. A huge new PB at 1 minute and 26 seconds on my 22nd kill. It was actually a perfect kill in the sense that I didn't take damage from any of Vardorvis's mechanics that you can avoid. The only thing that damaged me was just the chip damage that the boss himself does, and I was actually rewarded with the 50% more blood runes, because I believe in the previous clip I got 200 blood runes, so this one being 300, you know, feels nice to be rewarded. We finally got it on KC number 23, which is, I believe, just 3 kills under the drop rate, so we were basically there, but I am pretty excited to go put this into the ring. So I might as well show you how I was banking anyways. So I would teleport to house, and then I would hit my ornate rejuvenation pool, And then I was actually going to the raids 1 using the honor teleport on the Xerix talisman, because then I could bank here and then I could run over to the mountain travel guide or whatever his name is down here, and that would actually bring me right to this, and then it's just a short run to the boat. But that whole process still takes a while. But if we go in here and I find my ring, I only have one of them. I got 2 back before they changed how you get these. Like, you no longer have to do the weird suicide method. But I'll take out my charged ring of shadows. I think I just have to inspect it and then I can use it on it. You hold. All right, so now in theory, if I teleport with it, I think the Stranglewood is what it is. A nice animation there, although the fire cape bugged out. But now we are right here, so we can skip going to the mountain or the travel mountain guide, and then we can skip this walk up here, and I can just left click right here, and we're gonna just start running straight to the boss. So love that. It's gonna definitely cut down on trip times. Managed to get a 3-kill trip, but I think that's really only because the second kill I did was a supply drop instead of like a normal loot drop. But on the third kill, I got 100 dragon dart tips, which is super nice to see, because out of the 33, if you're not counting the 1 kill during the quest that I've gotten, it's one of 2 drops I've gotten that are over 100k GP, if I do not count the chromium ingot. But those drops were the runite ore and the dragon dart tips. For a minute I tricked myself into thinking the blood runes, but the most you get dropped is 300, which is still only like 65k or something, I think. But yeah, still loving the boss. Nice to feel like it's just getting easier and easier. I finished a 2-kill trip, and even without the supply drop, I was already considering going for a 3-kill trip anyways, because I had enough supplies left over. So hoping to start getting consistent 3-kill trips even without the supply drop. I meant to record this before banking, but I forgot. I definitely got my worst loot so far, which is 120 fire runes for a nice 480 GP. I got 2 kills that trip, but one of them was a supply drop, so I really only walked away with 480 GP, so sometimes the loot can be a little rough. So I just talked about the fire runes, and the game was like, I'll show you one better. 42 mithril javelins for 252 GP. I think the luck from the chromium ingot that I got is definitely coming back the other way. So I finally decided to stop being just super lazy, and I spent 5 hours finishing getting all of my core end favor to 100% and completing all of the quests that were required to complete the quest A Kingdom Divided, which now gives me access to thralls. So this is kind of what my inventory is looking like right now. I may have to change some things, I'm not sure, but it's gonna be my first ever time trying to kill anything with thralls. Pretty excited. So far the kills haven't really been faster, but I think it's just because I've been getting pretty unlucky, just not hitting for some reason. But a nice drop coming in, 105k from 400 soul runes. I'll take it. Already managed to pull in my second chromium ingot drop at 43kc, as well as a nice hard clue scroll. So not a bad drop at all. I don't quite understand how the drop rates work as far as the chromium ingots versus the Vistage and the Verdus. So if somebody could explain it in the comments, I would hugely appreciate that. And when I drop this, again, I do believe that it says 570k. I think it's actually worth more, closer to this 870k, but I'm not entirely sure, but we will find out later on when I sell everything off. Just reached 75kc, which puts us at halfway through the amount of kills I plan on doing in this video. But no, get out of here, frogs. What are you doing? What are you doing in my house? But I did end up selling those 2 chromium ingots I had, because that was the real price of them, was the price on the ground, which was less than what it was showing in the chat. And at some point here you can see that they sold for just over 1 million gold, like 504, basically 505k each, which I was like, I got to sell these things, they're just going to keep dropping. So hopefully, even if we get more, they're still great to see, because at least at Vardorvis, it's one of the most profitable things it drops. aside from just like Verdus itself and the vestige, but still having a good time. I've caught myself dying a couple times because I'm sort of getting to the point where I have to pay a little bit less attention, but then half the time when I'm not paying as much attention, I get really good luck with the axe spawns, and then I don't really have to worry about it very much. The other half the time, I just get demolished and get stacked out for like 90 damage and I die, but that's okay. That's really just my fault. It's not really a problem with the boss itself. My only other problem is I hate the chip damage mechanic. So like, even though I had one trip where I got 3 kills in the one trip and every single one of them was a quote unquote perfect kill, so I didn't take any damage from the boss's mechanics itself, but I still had to eat like 3 or 4 pieces of food throughout each kill just because I'm just taking so much chip damage the entire fight, and that is not very fun to deal with. But overall, I still think the boss is great. It's very engaging. It's pretty fun. The mechanics aren't too crazy, but it is tough to do at the beginning of it. But I found that bringing the Blood Fury, which, you know, isn't very great because this boss already is not the most profitable unless you camp it long enough to receive a Verdus drop or something like that. And then the Ring of Suffering with the recoil, because between the recoil and the greater zombie, which I can't summon here, it does pretty significant damage. I'd say probably like 25% or 20% of the boss's overall HP, maybe 20%. I feel like 25 is too generous. Maybe 20% of the boss's overall HP just from the recoil and the thralls. So it's very nice, speeds it up, and you know, you stay a little bit more healthy with the Blood Fury. But overall, I know this is a bit of a long ramble. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, enjoying it. Gonna get back to killing it. I didn't get a new PB with this kill because it was 1 minute and 43 seconds, and my personal best is 1 minute and 22. But it was by far my cleanest kill because I literally, the only food I ate was the anguish, the anglerfish I ate at the, like right before I started the kill. You know, the Blood Fury did some work, but I just avoided all the mechanics, and, you know, not too bad, not too bad. I wish it was more consistent like this, but, you know, the chip damage is what it is, and I also just mess up sometimes and get stacked out, but, you know, not too bad. Managed to get a new PB, which was 1 minute and 17 seconds, which lowered my previous one by 5 seconds, and I did get a perfect kill that time, so I didn't get hit by any of the mechanics, so we got increased loot. It feels pretty good. Definitely getting more consistent. I pulled in another 3-kill trip, and I was rewarded on the last kill with 42 mithril javelins, a sweet 252 GP. I do think the least amount of GP I've gotten from a single kill was, I think it was like 120 mind runes or something. It was 240 GP. So you do get a lot of like kind of crap drops, but I kind of like how they're doing these drops. It's instead of like every kill is just tons of money, like Vorkath, and you know, Zora a little bit to a less extent nowadays, but it's, you're kind of trying to hit those big ticket items, you know. It's sort of like lottery, but not really. I hope you understand what I'm saying. KC number 94 coming in, and definitely the best drop I've gotten other than the 2 chromium ingots, which is the 60 Onyx Bolts E, over 500 KGP. You know, very nice because most of the average kills at this boss are not worth very much, but once you hit some nice drops like this, it feels like you're starting to make that money. Just hit my first triple-digit milestone at Vardorvis, being 100 KC, and it was actually a perfect kill because we got the high reward of 37 uncut diamonds. I believe the normal reward when you roll the uncut diamonds is 25, so, you know, they rounded down. Instead of giving you 38, you get 37, but that's all right. You know, nice to finally be at 100. Gonna get another 50 done in this video, and then we'll probably move on to one of the other bosses. Let me know which one. I'm leaning towards Duke because I kind of want to get the 2 melee ones done, and then I'll do the other ones that require the other attack styles. So I'm probably gonna do Duke, but if there is like a crazy reception of people wanting me to go to a different one, maybe I'll do another one. I know it's only 1 kill after my last recording, but we did manage to get my first Awakener's Orb. So nice to see a nice over 3 mil drop. So that brings us up to 8.8 basically 8.6 mil total loot so far from Vardorvis. I don't know why this only says 98. Maybe it's because I've died a few times, but it's definitely 101. So that's so nice to see. That makes me feel like we are for sure going to be over 10 mil, maybe around the 12 mil mark. If, you know, that's without getting another Awakener's Orb and 150 KC. But man, that is so nice to add to the loot tab. I cannot believe that we have already gotten the Executioner's Axe Head at KC 107. That is insane. The clan's popping off. Hold on. KC 107. Oh my god, that's crazy. You know, it would be, and obviously the odds of it are super slim, but if we hit RNG like this as we go through doing 150 or 200 KC of the rest of the bosses, man, it would be insane to complete the whole axe. My luck at this boss continues to be absolutely insane. At 107 KC, we got the axe head, and at 137 KC, just 30 later, we get the Virtus robe top. I'll pop the drop rate up on the screen. I do believe it is very high. Man, that is insane. 41.4 million GP. Let's see what the clan has to say. Geez, so dope. I think, yeah, 137. Let's see what Isa Ronaldo says. Wow. Oh my god, that's so sick. So I watched No Leather's video on Vardorvis, and I noticed that he was taking the Ancient God Sword, and he talked about how it was extending his trips a lot, because for those of you who don't know, when you land the special attack on an enemy, after a couple seconds delay, you get 25 HP back. And at Vardorvis, where there's a lot of chip damage, you know, if you get caught by an axe, you're bleeding for, I think, 15 damage. It definitely helps out a lot, and I brought 3 prayer potions this trip and got 4 kills. Granted, I think 3 of them were perfect kills. I think only took damage from mechanics on 1 of them. But I think I definitely, in the future, need to bring maybe 4 prayer potions or 5 and just less food. Because I think I could get maybe 6 kill trips, 7 kill trips with this setup using the Blood Fury with the Lightbearer and the Ancient God Sword. Just tons of healing. I probably should have done this a while ago, but I do think it is time for me to demonstrate a full kill and probably mess it up because I'm recording, but I always start out by just eating the Angler in Super Combat, and then I turn on my prayers and summon a Thrall, and then, you know, we just whack it and run over to this corner. So I'm going to do all that stuff now. Oh, I accidentally ran over there for some reason. But it's pretty simple. I think until it hits about 50% HP, it only does 2 axes at a time. So until then, you know, you don't have to worry as much. And you can do like an axe skip, which normally that would work. But because I have another one there, you know, I had to run back out of the way. That thing turns off your prayers if you don't switch to range really quick. So I always try to run back to this little area here. Later on, during like the final phase of the boss, you can't quite do it as much because it's just a little too crazy. So switch to range there because the little guy popped up somewhere over there. This is the axe skip thing. So if you do that, although it looks like you're going to get hit, you'll actually dodge both axes for some reason. Not quite sure why. But yeah, it's not too bad. Takes a little getting used to. Gonna go for the spec. Nice, we actually landed. My Thrall has desummoned, so I'm gonna summon another one. Another little range attack coming in. These ones I moved to the wrong side, but I noticed it early enough that that's the one other attack he does. The reason you stand near the wall here is because if you're doing that, then he can't pop up all of those little tendril things on the ground. Oh shit, run. Oh, okay, never mind, he's dead. Perfect kill. We were eluded with the 50% more blood runes because normally this is a 200 blood rune drop. But yeah, not too bad. The kill times aren't too long. If you mess up a lot and you have to eat a lot, that's when the kills get really long. But if you don't mess it up, the kills are pretty fast, so you can kill a fair bit of these an hour. This boss just continues to be far too kind to us. Just 9 KC from the Vardorvis robe top. I got a second Awakener's Orb, but you know, we are actually nearing the drop rate to have 2 of them because I think they're dropped 1 in 80. We actually ran a little late on the first one. I think we got it around KC 100, maybe it was 101, not sure. But being at 160 would put us at drop rate for 2 of these bad boys. So love to see it coming in a little early because I am stopping the Vardorvis grind in 4 KC. I've already gotten so much from this boss and I really want to experience the other Desert Treasure 2 bosses. But we're gonna keep going until we hit that 150. The final drop from the first 150 KC is 45 adamant ore. All right, so now I'm going to go to the bank, grab everything that we got from the boss, sell it off, and we'll see just how much money we made. After selling everything off, I'm walking away with almost 54 million GP, 53,797,395, and the Executioner's Axe Head. I will say that I probably paid about 2 or 3 mil in death costs after dying, having to pay to get my items back because I did die a bunch, especially when I was just learning the boss, and I probably also spent around 2.5 mil on supplies just to kill the boss. I was bringing a couple prayer potions, a super combat, and a bunch of food every trip. So, you know, maybe 40k in GP for supplies per trip, with about 2 kills on average per trip. I definitely started getting 3 and 4 towards the end of the grind, but at the beginning I was only killing 1 per trip. So I averaged it out to 2. So that probably puts us at about, you know, 49, maybe 48 million gold. Granted, I got very lucky. I got the Vardorvis robe top, 2 chromium ingots, and 2 Awakener's orbs. So, you know, I mean, even just without the Vardorvis robe top, I sold that for a little over 40 mil. That would drop this down to, you know, just 13 mil, which is probably more what you should expect from it. But overall, if you enjoyed the video, thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.